I'm Sarah. Last night, 2 house guests were evicted in the double eviction. It was kind of a double eviction. It was an inside outside. We knew who was going. Just a reminder, I send in my questions now. I don't get to speak with the house guest directly. The first one I have for you today is Jasmine. My biggest question for her was she surprised to hear those 7 house guests were working together? Michael listed them in his goodbye message, which I think was a great move. And I know that throughout the season, she was starting to put things together, but Joseph did a really good job playing like he wasn't with them. Kyle had her convinced that he wasn't with them. So I really wanted to know how she felt about those 7 working together.
Absolutely. I wasn't completely off with some of the people that I thought were aligned. It was a few people that I didn't think that would ever work together, and it's a few of those in there. So I definitely could say that I was definitely shocked.
I really wanted to ask her about her ankle injury. We knew she was playing it up, and that's not a horrible strategy. So I was going to ask her about that, but she did address it last night on the show. So instead, I said, "You mentioned playing up your ankle injury as strategy. What about the Woodstock Veto comp? That's the one she was hooked up on, and she started to faint and pass out before even going up. And so her and Turner, who were besties at the time, were not able to compete in that veto." So I asked, what about that one? Was that strategy, or were you actually starting to faint? Guess what? PR did not ask her that question. What's wrong with that question? That's not insulting. That's a fair question. I'm not being shady. I want to know, was that like part of the strategy to seem like a weaker player? But my next question they did ask. I said, "You seemed more interested in voting with the House than keeping your allies. What was your strategy there?"
I think that moving in the Big Brother house is a lot different than I expected, but I also just didn't want someone to have an easy target for me simply because I didn't vote with the house. So sometimes I had to make those tough decisions. And especially if I knew that everybody else was not voting for my ally in the game, I didn't want that target to be on my back. I was trying to do everything I could, especially because I wasn't really a physical threat and I really couldn't win, especially after getting injured. So I was trying to do the best strategy that I thought I could, and that was to go with the house.
I asked her, "Where do you think things went wrong for your game?" And it's interesting her answer, because she did learn some information about Alyssa's loose lips this week. Brittany Taylor and Michael gave her that information. But she does also mention the twist. And I'm not sure that that's where everything went wrong.
I think things went wrong for my game when I started to trust a little bit more than I should have, especially trusting people that I like. Alyssa, my best friend in the game. I mean, she ended up being one of the people that were telling all my business and everything that I was in. So I definitely think that that was a mess up for me. And also, I think the twist really threw me a doozy, and I was like, what is going on? But ultimately, it worked out the way it worked out, and whatever's meant to be is supposed to be.
And now what's becoming my favorite question is, who did you want to sit next to in the final 2? And did you think you could beat them?
I would have loved to sit next to Alyssa in the final 2. And yes, I definitely think I could have beat her in the final 2.
Well, I don't think I ever pictured her and Alyssa as final 2 sitting in those chairs. And I definitely didn't consider who would win. But I don't know. I don't know. Do you guys think if she was sitting next to Alyssa, she could take it? Thanks for watching, guys. Please leave a comment. Let me know how you felt about Jasmine's answers and how you feel about her being a jury member.